The Locked On Road to the Stanley Cup continues as we welcome Gil Martin from Locked On Islanders to take stock of the Isles' chances to make a deep postseason run. Pulling a switcheroo here today, as Gil is usually the host of these things, but his New York Islanders have made it to the NHL playoffs. So, Gil, what is the biggest storyline for your team coming into the playoffs?
I think the biggest storyline is that they made the playoffs at all, overcoming a serious injury to Matthew Barzal, their most dynamic offensive player, who still isn't back yet. And they're hoping he can be back in time for game one of the playoffs, but we still don't know. But the Islanders managed to overcome some injuries and had a strong finish without Barzy in the lineup and managed to squeak in as the first wild card.
Yeah, it was a pretty impressive end to the season for the Isles, coming in on a pretty big upswing. So, why do you think the Isles can continue that and win the Stanley Cup?
I think it all has to be based on strong goaltending. And Ilya Sorokin, who should, I think, be one of the three Vezina finalists. I don't think he'll win it. I think Olmark has locked that up. But I think Ilya Sorokin can keep them in any game. And even if they're being outshot, even if they're being outplayed, he gives them a chance to win. And I think he is the key to any possible cup win or long playoff run.
So, you mentioned a couple weaknesses there that the team has. Are any of them the biggest reason why they can't manage a deep playoff run?
I'm going to go with the power play. It has been dreadful this year, 31st in the NHL. And when Barzal was not in the lineup, they just could not find a way to get the puck into the zone consistently. They don't move without the puck. They don't pass the puck quickly on the power play, and they don't have a lot of finishers. That's a recipe for 31st out of 32 teams.
Yeah.
And power play is even more important in the postseason. And if they can't get it at least to average territory, it's going to be a problem for this team.
Yeah, that can get you every time. Bo Horvat was the big trade deadline acquisition for the New York Islanders. Is he the biggest player to watch in this first series, or is there somebody else out there that fans should be keeping an eye on?
I think Horvat is going to be vital, especially if we don't know Matthew Barzal's status. And if Barzal does play, he's going to be not quite in game shape just yet, having not played for a couple of months. So I think, Horvat, he started off really hot. When Matthew Barzal went down with an injury, his scoring kind of slowed down to a trickle. He's got to be more consistent offensively and give them some production and some goals if they're going to go on that long playoff run.
Yeah, that is a tough situation with Matt Barzal. So, given all that, what does a successful playoff run look like for the Islanders? And then what's at stake if they fall short?
Well, I think if they fall short really fast, if they're swept or losing 5 games in the first round, there could be some changes coming to this roster. This team is built with a lot of older players, and it may be time to start moving away from some of them and getting a little faster and a little younger. A long playoff run to me means Ilya Sorokin plays at the top of his game and the Islanders play smart defensive hockey in their own zone. If they're coughing up the puck, that's not going to happen. To me, a long playoff run would be at least reaching the conference final, but it will be a challenge for this team because they're just not that good offensively, and they need to be more consistent at putting the puck in the net.
Yeah, they like to play close games to try and eke out wins. But that will do it for our Islanders preview here on the Locked On Road to the Stanley Cup. Be sure to subscribe or follow Gil over at Locked On Islanders. It's free on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.